This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
What is your favorite nap time leader? Fan Radio Network.
That's pretty good.
KFAN.com. 2 minutes and 9 seconds past the hour, 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Welcome back. It is a Tuesday edition of the Bumper to Bumper program on a, now fairly balmy Tuesday afternoon here in the Twin Cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. I am the host of the program. My name is Dan Barreiro. Guardsy out today, and that means back in that chair is Brett Blakemore. We are delighted that you are along for today's 3.5 hour tour. The text line, the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line more specifically, is open at the usual 64686. And this is the day we have been waiting for, right? We've been talking about this ever since folks lost their minds over the first round Minnesota Wild Vegas Golden Knights schedule was first revealed. That game 2 tonight scheduled for a 10 o'clock opening faceoff. Now, by the way, that could probably be even later, I think, depending on what happens before. We'll see. Maybe they have a hard start time on that one. I don't know. And there's a lot of bitterness about it. A lot of bitterness, a lot of fear, and a lot of loathing. The Wolves are also West Coast. What time are they starting tonight? I think it's 9, isn't it? Or is it 9:30?
Yeah.
I believe it's 9. We'll double check that. And when this story first broke, and I admittedly mocked and ridiculed the hyperventilation over it, a lot of people did say, well, we have to come up with, we do our best on this program to save lives. Well, not so much save lives, change lives, as we like to say. And how can we change lives properly tonight to give people options for preparing themselves, if they are committed to the bit, for the long night of sports watching between the Wild, Game 2, needing a victory to even the series, the Wolves, Game 2, needing a victory to go up 2-0 and come back here. What are some tips that we might come up with or might get from our audience on staying up, staying awake? Because what does your average hockey playoff game go? 2:20?
I'd say probably 3.
It goes 3?
I think so.
Does it really?
I mean, let's see. 2 days
Maybe
ago,
2.5.
it started at What did it start at 9? I think it was over at midnight.
Was it really? Okay. All right. So let's say 3 or a little less than that. That's late, right? That means by your math, we're going close to 1 o'clock in the morning. Apparently, there are people out here who don't know how to stay up. They don't know what to do. So is it a nap? Is it healthy to take a 7 p.m. nap for 2 hours? I am a terrible napper. I wish I were better at it because I do think it helps other people that I know. It refreshes them. If I take a nap, I wake up groggy, don't know what city I'm in, and I never feel like I completely recover from the nap itself. So I think I'm more likely to go an extra foo-foo drink at night with a lot of caffeine, something like that. But I'm glad to listen to suggestions and ideas that people have. Now, I'm well aware of this because of the texts that come in, a lot of pot users in our audience. Not judging, not taking a stand on it. Does pot help you stay awake, or is it more likely to bring on dozing off, nodding off? Are you a great pot mind, Brett Blickman?
I'm not.
You're not. I need some help from the audience on that, too. Are there certain forms of tea that can actually pep you up a little bit? Part of it, I had the opportunity, I had the kind of schedule flexible enough that I could sleep in today. So I slept in. Instead of getting up at 6 or 7, I got up at 10, figuring that might help me on the other end of the evening.
That's called an off day for me.
No,
Get up at 10.
That's a good point. Well, you don't even have any off days anymore. It's unbelievable.
Wow,
all you do is give. So like I said, I'll listen to suggestions. Now, a couple people have already texted, said, look, here's your answer. Go to bed. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock, don't look to find out how the Wolves were doing at that point. You go to bed at 10 o'clock, the Wild game will have just begun. Don't look at your phone. Don't be on any sort of social media. Do your recording of the games and watch in the morning if you have the opportunity to do that. Do it the old-fashioned way where you have no knowledge of what took place. I find myself in the position that I don't think I'm capable of waiting that long. In other words, I'm going to find out, and if I know, then I can't watch. The only exception would be if there's something controversial that I need to pay attention to for the purposes of the show, to try to speak in a halfway educated way on it. But otherwise, because I do this all the time, I got to tape that game because I'm going to be gone for 2.5 hours, and I'm kind of curious to see how it ends. But then in the meantime, I find out who won the game, and I never am able to go back and enjoy it. Even though psychologically, I always want to tape it, like just in case I'm going to go back. I don't think I ever go back. Do you? I'm not good at that.
I can't. Once it's done, it's dead for me. Which, I'll catch the highlights. I'll see how it happens, but I can't sit and watch a 3-hour game.
No, I can't
after. Even if I fast forward through all the commercials like you would if you DVR'd it, still can't do it.
A lot of people are coming up with some pretty diversified ideas here. Some of them rather controversial. Darren writes, I'll be watching the Twins, thoughts and prayers, on Fox 9 and going to bed. Then again, as we said yesterday, it could be the start of a Twins surge because for the second straight year, the Chicago White Sox, the winning elixir, is showing up on the Twins' doorstep, followed by, I think, the Angels, who helped the Twins get well at about this same point a year ago when they struggled through the early part of the season. If I take an edible before games tonight, I will be asleep before tip-off. Jeff from Richfield writes. Who in the NHL is paying bump, I guess that's me, for this awful take on the playoff start times? I have often been accused of being a National Hockey League shill. There's no question about it. All the sports, really. And I hope the check does arrive.
You're the ambassador.
On time. And I'm the ambassador, yeah. But the ambassador sometimes has to offer tough criticism, has to challenge, can't be afraid to do that. I am not cheerleading for the league on this particular story. I just don't think it's as I think we should be used to it by now. That's all I'm saying. Doesn't mean you have to love it, but and because it seems like it's that extra half hour that have people losing their minds. If it were 9:30, they'd go, not great, but we got a lot of those 9:30 starts. But 10 o'clock, it's absurd. How are you going to grow the game? All that nonsense.
By the way, to make it worse,
yes,
it's officially 10:15 puck drop.
It is 10:15. Is that a change, or is that what it's always
just
been?
That's what you know. How like sometimes it'll say 7, but it's really 7:05.
10:15. So, I now think, why not go all the way with it and start it at like 11 our time? Let's have it the latest start in the history. Because I wonder if this already might be the latest start for a professional playoff game in the history of this town. I mean, it's got to be close, I would think. Do a line of cocaine. That will keep you awake. We do not endorse the use or abuse of dangerous drugs on this program. Do we? I don't. No, we're not going down that particular road. Sleep is better than hockey. I will check the score in the AM. I'm old.
Nice to hear from Johnny Athletic.
Wow. What if that was Fallness? What if we find out Fallness is actually a basketball fan, forced to pretend he worships the game of hockey? How good would that be? God, that'd be beyond delicious. My supervisor knows he's going to have some tired workers tomorrow. Go Wolves and Wild. It's on at 8 p.m. in Vegas, so it's a good start for them, just like the game will be starting here at 8 p.m. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's our game. It's game 3 at 8 o'clock here. In fact, I think that's right. I think game 3, or is the weekday game.
I know game 4 is like a 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's on the weekend, I think, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's over for the Wild. Don't worry about staying up late. Wow. Ham not being sliced thin enough is much worse than even a 10-15 puck drop. I couldn't agree more. I agree with Ben 100%. YouTube will have a decent 15 to 20-minute highlight package tomorrow. My advice, get a good night's sleep, catch the highlight packages, and pretend you watch the entire games when you're on the air. Now, I said a couple days ago, I might doze off tonight. I'm not even going to, I could lie to you and say, I'm wide awake, wouldn't miss a thing. I might doze off, but I'll get my second wind. So halfway through the first period, I see myself dozing off of the hockey game. And then I have that like semi-snore moment where you wake up startled. And then I look up and it's Vegas 2, Wild nothing, about midway through the second period. And then I'm awake again. And I'm going to stay with it and go, what the hell?
But you know what?
And I'll feel like, I didn't really miss all that much. And the texts are pouring in.
Where are you at on the caffeine?
Here's the thing. I am open to it, but here's what's weird to me with me about caffeine. I probably will try to have a little extra latte, but I can't recall very many times if I've had coffee or latte late, that it has kept me up. I mean, in other words, I don't think it does for me what it seems to, because there are people out there who literally, after 4 o'clock, are draconian about, I cannot, anything with caffeine after 4 o'clock, I'm going to be up all night, or later. And I wish it were.
I would never sleep a day in my life.
Well, I wish it would affect me that way, but it doesn't. I don't think it has that impact on me for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not getting strong enough coffee.
I've had energy drinks at 7 or 8 at night if don't have anything to do the next day. It's not going to keep me up all night.
It's not going to keep, but it does help.
Might be on the menu tonight.
See, energy drinks scare me because I get worried about how I don't want to get my heart racing. Any stuff that. Ginseng, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't want to mess with that stuff. I'm sure it works for some people, but I'm too much of a fraidy cat. Grant in your hand time?
Yes, it is. The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Head to KFAN.com and the keyword grand. The keyword is grand, KFAN.com, keyword grand.
Kevin Seifert with his official pick in the official ESPN draft, mock draft, on behalf of the Vikings. He'll be in studio in about 15.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary. Ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Tuesday regular Luigi is scheduled for a 5:30 visit tonight to help us preview game number 2. All the action tonight on the Fan. Is it an extended pregame again tonight, Blakemore? Do you know? Should be.
I believe it's the normal 15 minutes.
That's absurd.
Pregame.
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. What's with fallness? That's embarrassing. Pregame should start at 9 p.m. and go till 10:15. Should be an hour and 15 minutes, should it not? That's the thing about fallness. You know, he talks a good game, but then say, I don't know, let's just do the regular pregame. I mean, like, this is a regular season game in mid-January, for God's sake. Anyway.
If you want to give me another 4 hours on my time card, sure, we'll talk.
Maybe that's the issue. In addition, Mitch Lawrence to help us not just preview game 2 for the Wolves, but maybe take a larger look at the NBA playoffs. I'm beginning to believe that one Karl Anthony Towns, in the end, might miss the Minnesota Timberwolves more than the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to miss Karl Anthony Towns. More on that with Mitch at 4:30. I mentioned Seifert. He is in the house and will join us in about 10 minutes or so. Where was I? Oh, I read that one about YouTube, a decent 15 to 20-minute highlight package. It's not the same. Now, if you have to do it, you do it, like you said, to catch up. But I don't think you can capture the essence of a game in that sort of highlight package. Can you? Do you? I just don't. I don't feel the same about really feeling like, okay, I've dug deep to find out exactly what happened in the ballgame. Or the puck game.
Yeah, you can say, on this goal it was this person's fault, or on this play.
Yes.
But you can't say the overall feel of...
You can't convey the essence of it, I don't think. I think it's very, very difficult to do that. But that's just me. We got a lot of suggestions that have indeed poured in.
Some good,
some good, some... tell them to boost the signal of 96.7. You can't hear anything in the suburbs, especially in the southern suburbs. 612 guy, my friend. I can take care of all of your problems. It's very simple, and it's free. Download the iHeartRadio app, the new one, and you won't have to worry about the boosting. It's the beauty of it. Doesn't matter where you are, and you'll get the signal. I don't know how many times I could say it, but I again will tell you, and get the new version where we've got the presets, which works even better on a night like this, where you can go back and forth if you want to, between the Wild and the Timberwolves, among other things, right?
certainly all this boosted coverage is going to cost you just an arm and a leg, right?
Yeah, well, I already blew that line because I called it free, but it's worth mentioning again. That's okay. It's so easy. Try taking some L-theanine. Am I pronouncing that right? With your caffeine. L-THEANINE with your caffeine.
Yeah, that's what we can go with.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it does. Is it safe? I'll take one of my ADD pills at about 6 and get ready for the evening. That's what Darren says.
Those will get you going.
Well, is it unsafe to take an extra ADD pill? I don't know.
I mean, speaking hypothetically, if someone maybe wanted to like cram for a test and they happen to take one, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, no, you'd have no idea.
It would probably get you really locked in and focused to what you're doing. So yeah, it'd probably keep you up.
Given there's about 65-ish minutes between jump ball and puck drop, I will be watching the first half of Wolves-Lakers live on FanDuel app. Then, the first period of Wild Vegas during halftime on the same app, fast-forwarding through any commercials. Then get caught up on Wolves' second half while fast-forwarding through commercials and replay/reviews, etc. I will finish the night off watching periods 2 and 3 of the Wild game while fast-forwarding through the 17-minute intermissions and 6 remaining 2-minute commercial breaks. I'm guessing, hold on, let me scroll down here. I'm guessing I get caught up to live action and get to bed by 1 a.m. because hockey games don't last 3 hours. That's flim-flam. I didn't think so either. They're not 3. They're longer than NBA games, but I don't think much. I think they're 2.5.
I think that guy took an ADD pill right now.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it. I don't know. Heavy marijuana user here. I'll be watching the Wild the same way I always do. I smoked so much pot in the first period that I fall asleep on the couch during the second period. All's not lost, Dan. I usually wake up stoned to the bone and ready for period number 3. Well, I guess whatever it takes.
If you've got to process, you've got to process.
Yeah, you do. I'll respect it. Mark from Red Wing, I can drink coffee up to bedtime. But if I have tea or iced tea after 4 p.m., I cannot fall asleep at my normal time, 9 to 9:15 p.m. I'm up until 11 o'clock. I have the answer to your Wild predicament. Dan, go to bed your regular time. Wake up to see how many goals the Wild lose by. Because it doesn't matter. The Wild are losing 4 straight. He's got the brooms out. He has got the brooms out. Any chance we're going to see your guy Flower in this series?
Probably not.
Not unless there's an injury.
Yeah, unless something happened.
Well, or Gus Butts gives up like 8 goals. One of those deals, you're just putting him out of his misery.
Well, even then, it wouldn't be. Well, yeah, if it was an injury, it'd probably be Flower. But you've also got Wallstedt up here.
I forgot about that. I forgot to ask Russo about that. I'll ask maybe Louis about that.
Real quick.
Yes.
To me, and this is, I'm a pop drinker, not so much a coffee drinker. Coffee up to bedtime just feels wrong. Like, that doesn't feel like a bedtime. Like, I can't imagine drinking coffee past, like, noon. That feels weird to me.
I mean, I tend to associate it with a morning thing, although I have over the years, I never used to drink coffee during the show, ever. Because when I drink coffee, I generally drink the foo-foo drinks. It's more of a latte drink. So, part of it is because any of these tend to bloat me more than I like to be bloated. But as I have reached more advanced years and having an afternoon show, I've needed a little bit of a kick, between 3 and 4 o'clock. So I don't have one every day, but I tend to come in with one. We'll find out if Seifert, I don't think Seifert's much of a coffee drinker as I recall, but we'll find out. DNA test sites like Ancestry and 23andMe will tell you if you likely process caffeine quickly. I'm like you, Dan, can have coffee whenever and has no effect on my sleep. But I need it every morning or else I get a splitting headache. Yeah, I remember my mother used to get, if she took a day off from coffee, she'd have horrible headaches. I don't know if I've suffered from that, but she'd have a big issue. Although back in the day, she was a smoker too.
If I go a day without pop, it's over.
Pop?
Yep.
And are you Diet Coke?
No, it's more of like a Mountain Dew Zero.
Okay.
Yeah. Coke Zero. Yeah.
The only soft drink now, and I don't think this would have any impact, good or bad, on me tonight, is I've been a water guy for like the last 20 years. Used to be 4 Diet Cokes a day. 2 for lunch and 2 for dinner. Like cans, 2 12-ounce cans for each part of the day in terms of, I had to have it with a meal. somewhere along the way, I went strictly to water, but I now am starting to drink pretty regularly Canada Dry ginger ale. I don't like any other ginger ale. I know people have called this show or texted this show and said there's some great ginger ale options that are much better than Canada Dry. All I know is, for me, whatever, there's something, there's a bite to the Canada Dry ginger ale that I think crispness is the word I've heard used before that works, that seems to help me. So there it is. But I don't think it helps keep me awake. You know what will keep me awake tonight? Overtime in Vegas, and the Wild in the third overtime prevail to even the series at 1-1, mocking the people who said it's going to be a sweep.
And then right after that, you just tune on the fan to listen to the Power Trip Morning Show.
Pretty much it. That's the way it would go. Kevin Seifert is in the house. We'll find out if he's going to stay up late tonight. We'll also find out who he selected in the big final ESPN mock draft on behalf of your favorite football team, the Minnesota Vikings. And if he traded down, I might kick him out of the studio.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list, like this leaf blower. PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary. Ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
You know when you're really stressed or not feeling so great about your life or about yourself? Talking to someone who understands can really help. But who is that person? How do you find them? Where do you even start? Talkspace. Talkspace makes it easy to get the support you need. With Talkspace, you can go online, answer a few questions about your preferences, and be matched with a therapist. And because you'll meet your therapist online, you don't have to take time off work or arrange childcare. You'll meet on your schedule, wherever you feel most at ease. If you're depressed, stressed, struggling with a relationship, or if you want some counseling for you and your partner, or just need a little extra one-on-one support, Talkspace is here for you. Plus, Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance? No problem. Now get $80 off of your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Stay tuned.
Man.
Your home for coverage of the NFL Draft is KFAN. Don't miss out on live coverage, expert commentary, and reactions to all of the action. Round 1 kicks off April 24th. That's Thursday. Draft coverage on KFAN is presented locally by Heating and Cooling 2. Go to heatcool2.com to book your service today.
Kevin Seifert, will you be staying up tonight to watch the Minnesota Timberwolves and or the Minnesota Wild, who apparently have a 10:15 Central Time opening face-off?
The hockey's not going to happen. I have a shot at the first half of Timberwolves, I think, and we'll see how it's going at that point. My son will be watching every minute of it, so there'll at least be noise in the house late, which could.
He's hoops guy, not hockey guy, correct?
Definitely so. Yeah. That's a family tradition,
right?
And so, I'd like to see them. I couldn't watch them Saturday night because I was out and about in the greater Twin Cities area,
I must say.
And I hope that they can repeat it tonight.
So, do you have any tips for our audience on the times where you've needed to stay awake for whatever the reason might be? Do you have any crutches that help you? Any secret elixirs?
Well, adrenaline. And I wouldn't necessarily advise finding it externally, but
that's dangerous, isn't it?
Because you were in the same boat for years and years, writing stories late after a Monday night game or after a Thursday night game or just being on deadline and by all rights, you should be exhausted by 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning and we're still writing. And so, what always got me through that was just the adrenaline of being into what I was doing. And so if the game is good,
there you go.
I will stay up and not feel like I want to fall asleep.
The Lakers are up 12, and it looks like, okay, that's it. It's going to be a split.
If, when we reach the point where the NBA has to step in to make sure the Lakers are up by 12, yes, that's where I will check out. But if it's an interesting game and I'm engaged, I think that that's the best natural alertness. drug.
John, the mail carrier, texts every once in a while. He suggests that if you start smoking, nothing gives you a boost like nicotine from a heater or two.
Well, that's
another way to go.
That's oldie but goodie.
Yeah,
I think that's been used for generations.
Very, very true, Davey. All right, so here we are, 2 days removed from day one of the draft, correct?
Yeah.
Thursday's the big day.
Down to like 50 hours or something.
I saw the
51
countdown.
hours, 23 minutes, 39
on the
seconds.
ESPN screen. It's so dramatic. It's so impressive. Are you going to have to keep upping your estimate for how many people are going to show up for the first ever National Football League draft held in Green Bay, Wisconsin?
Well, the locals are saying 250,000. I had a guy tell me like 5 minutes ago that it was going to be 500,000.
500,000 is my prediction.
500,000, according to a local radio host. I mean, Wisconsin, I looked it up. Wisconsin's 5.9 million population, more than Minnesota. So if even just, a sixth of that comes in, you're talking 1 million.
Do we know, is there an unofficial record? Now, once we started moving this thing around, do we have an unofficial record? I know we've had some estimates that seem a little funky sometimes.
It's a good. Every year they do announce like their estimate of the amount of people that attended over the 3-day period. And that's another part. The 250 is over the 3-day period.
Oh, I see.
So it's not like there'll be 250,000 people,
well,
like in theory, standing in the parking lot at Lambeau Field and the surrounding streets. But just for perspective, the population of Green Bay is 107,000.
107, you said?
Yeah. According to my our Rob Domofsky, who had a big story today about the whole thing and how, there's some wild parts of it. There's people staying in Milwaukee, which is in the state of Wisconsin, but as anyone knows, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours away. And
staying in Milwaukee?
They're going to shuttle people up. Hopefully it's not like a school bus; it's an actual real bus.
I had no idea.
So it's a statewide event for sure.
Well, there is some talk. Gargi and I talked about possibly talking to Carl because some people had texted saying they wonder what kind of credit, if it is successful, and of course it will be.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of credit that Carl will take? What kind of responsibility he might have? You're the guy. You're Mr. Packer guy.
I've heard through the grapevine he's got a pretty big role this weekend.
A role in the draft?
Yeah.
Come on.
I get those emails.
He may have said he has a big role.
No.
That's very different than having a big role.
No.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like a big role.
What could that be? Like catering the food or like some of the food trucks, that kind of thing? Tell you what, let's call him. Can you call him? Do you know how to? Yeah, call him up.
Okay.
And let's talk to him. And by the way, people for years have been asking for what? You and Seifert and Carl Gerbschmidt on at the same time to further prove that you are not Carl Gerbschmidt, correct?
Yeah, Carl's Carl. I've always said that. No one believes me.
Now, if we were...
You can't have a Twitter account if it's not Carl. Everyone knows that.
Well, that's true. If we were the Power Trip Morning Show, this segment would be televised, so then people could further see that when he's talking, your mouth's not moving.
No.
As we have you on at the same time.
I'm not that smart.
No.
I can't do that.
But we don't televise much stuff in the afternoon. But yeah, we'll see if we can get Carl on the horn here and get him going on the subject on the, well, I was going to say the eve. It's not the eve. It's the eve of the eve.
Yeah.
By the way, tomorrow is Wexler Wednesday, and it is confirmed Marty Wexler III, yearly tradition of his appearing on the day before the draft will continue. He'll be with us, I'm assuming 3 o'clock hour, although I don't know for sure. Tomorrow, there will be another, and now, Wexler used to be with us during the Combine.
Yeah.
Last few years, he hasn't done that. He's become a lot more exclusive.
I mean, you talk about a guy who's busy right now.
Extremely busy. So he's going to join at some point tomorrow. Looks like Blakemore's gotten through. Carl?
Oh.
Can you hear us, Carl?
Hello?
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 Hello? Hi, Carl.
Who's this?
Who do you think this is?
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. And
listen, I can't talk right now. We're gonna do a run through pretty quick.
A run through of what?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm on the phone with media right now.
Media.
Yeah.
That's the media.
Okay. I have to be careful what I tell you.
You've never called us media before. Now it's useful for your purposes. You know who else I have with me in studio?
No.
Your good friend Kevin Seifert.
What's up there?
Isn't it pronounced Seifert?
No, we've tried to establish this years ago. It's not Seifert.
It spells like Seifert.
Do you know how to spell it?
It's got an E and an I together.
But the E is first, is it not?
It is.
So
yeah.
it should be Seifert.
Yeah.
So you're the one who's wrong. You're calling it Seifert. You never had a lot of respect for him, especially when he was doing the NFC North blog, did you?
Well, yeah, because he's a homer from Minnesota. What are you talking to him for?
Well, we have him on every week, and it's the draft is coming up Thursday. But I did hear.
I'm aware of that.
Well, yeah. Are you trying to tell our audience or pretend
I have a really important role
that you have an important?
I'm a supervisor.
Supervisor of what?
I'm a supervisor for the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Let's see. Yeah,
you know that.
But what's that got to do with being involved with the draft?
It means I can handle responsibility.
And what are your What are your duties?
It's a very important job.
You haven't explained what it is.
I'm the hat guy.
The hat guy?
You know how when the players come out and they have the hat on for the team and their family all gets a hat?
The ball cap? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the guy who has to kind of make sure that the right guy gets the right hat.
That's a big responsibility.
It's a good job.
It's a big
It's not as easy as you think it might be.
It's not?
No, think about it. Atlanta, red and black. Arizona, red and black. And they're right next to each other. Okay? So they're right next to each other. You gotta pay attention.
You gotta really be on your toes.
It's pretty impressive
You gotta
because
have enough hats for the entire entourage.
it's pretty impressive. The person who usually does that is the senior vice president of the entire National Football League, Michael Signora. So it's surprising that he gave up that job.
We moved a lot of people, of our people, into key positions.
We?
Yeah, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concern within the NFL circles about the potential for disaster of a draft in Green Bay.
Is that
people
right?
Are stupid.
Just from a logistics standpoint.
There's going to be 700,000 people here.
That's the concern. You can't handle that. It's going to be a massive stampede.
Well, Dan, we have planned for this, okay?
For 700,000?
Great shape from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
If you want to fly in from Appleton, that's a regional airport. The roads are great all the way here to Green Bay.
No road blow this early.
No, it's perfect time, and they're clean. And we've advised the local communities to make sure there's no dead deer. So it's going to be perfect.
I should have known that you would make sure there's no dead deer.
You want me to get you a hat?
No, not really for me.
These are special draft hats.
What do you mean? So
I
these
got
are
one from every team.
Including the
That's
Vikings?
my job. Huh?
Including the Vikings?
Yeah, I'm trying not to keep it. I'll sell it like on eBay or something.
Yeah. So you're expecting 700,000 total for the 3 days, or 700?
That's what I heard. Yeah, that's the number that's going around. Yeah,
are you?
I think so.
Yeah, are you involved with
it's
any
going
of
to
the?
be really good for the business at Kohl's.
God, I hope it doesn't turn into an embarrassment.
Well, what's that big embarrassment?
Well, the logistics. You guys may be overwhelmed. I think that's the concern a lot of people have. You're a cute little city, cute little town, but are you prepared? This is big. This is the big time.
Well, you think I don't know it? We've won 4 Super Bowls.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the
The
logistics.
13 World Championships, Dan. You know why there isn't that happen in Minnesota?
Why not?
Because there's nothing but losers in Minnesota.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
What about
Who is
food?
your team going to draft?
Well, we're going to get to that because Seifert, Kevin Seifert, just had to make the official Vikings pick in the ESPN mock. The final, I'm assuming, final ESPN mock?
One and only.
Yeah, who are you taking?
Well, we're not saying yet. We're waiting. We want to keep the audience.
You'll go run and tell the Packers.
We draft right before you. So
What if you? What?
I'd like to kind of get a little intel.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah.
It's not like you have. It's not like you're going to help the Packers make the pick.
No, I am. I've already turned in all the research.
You did,
And we have also sent in some suggested picks and possible trades up. We might move some players. There's like a couple guys that we think about moving. So
the deadline
we
for
might
it,
get a better pick.
the deadline to submit it was last week, so he had to get it all in. Yeah,
of course.
You didn't answer Dan's question about food. Can you feed 700,000 people for 3 days there?
We got lots of brats.
Do you have a food truck?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them.
Well, no. Do you have one? With your
Do I have one?
your
No,
risotto?
that was really smart. I should have done a risotto food truck.
Yeah, your kielbasa risotto.
Yeah, why didn't? I'll be off in a second. I'm talking to important media people. Yeah. Well, you're not talking to anybody. Okay, sorry.
Are you going to get an audience with Goodell at all?
I was this close to him the other day. He kind of blows in and out. You don't even know he's there.
Yeah.
It's like they don't announce every time when he's here in town, but he's been here a bunch.
Of course, yeah, makes sense. Do you think they're trying to keep him away from you a little bit? That they're trying to shield him from you?
Why? Why would that be?
Well, no offense, but you can be a little overbearing.
I think we can address a few things that have come into blows and anything like that.
Well, I think that you might be viewed as a security risk. That's all.
Depends on the blood alcohol content.
Well, yeah, that's.
I'm sorry. I gotta go, you guys, because they're getting to a part where they're gonna fake announce a guy in the trade.
You gotta have
and they're not even telling me who it's gonna be, so I gotta be ready to change hats.
All right, make sure you have your cell phone tomorrow, and Thursday we might call you.
No, I don't have time for you.
Of course you don't.
I am very, very busy.
Thank you, Carl.
Go Pack.
That's Carl Gerbschmidt. So who you want to? Well, we don't have to keep people in suspense. Please tell me you didn't move down in the draft. Please.
They discouraged us from doing trades so that everybody would have a pick. I did surreptitiously try to do one anyway. Could not find
moving which direction?
Down.
Well, down because obviously then there's
could not find one that seemed like a reasonable comeback. So I ended up sitting tight at 24, taking a safety from South Carolina named Nick Eamon-Worry.
That's kind of boring.
Yeah, I mean the 24th pick is often
is that
boring.
Best player on the board? Is that what you went with? In your view,
it was. Our task was to draft the player we think that the team would draft, not necessarily who we would draft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there were a couple offensive guards that had already been taken. There was a defensive tackle from Oregon, Harmon, that is really good. He was off the board. There was a defensive tackle, Nolan, from Mississippi State that I still could have taken, but I ultimately went with a safety who is obviously a need, I think, at that position in the short and the long term. He's young. He's 21, big guy, playmaker. The people on Twitter and on Blue Sky are not happy with it. They feel
Did they hammer you?
He's Lewis Cine 2.0. I really wanted to do Lewis Cine 2.0. I could have taken a safety from Georgia, Malachi Starks, and maybe I should have. We'll see. The key to drafting anybody for defense for the Vikings is trying to get inside Brian Flores' head and understand how he might use him or what he might think. And I don't know if I am great at that, but this is a big kid who's young and would have a chance to develop into a multi-positional role, and that was the sort of the background of why I chose him.
When you were selecting, was Derek Harmon available?
No, he's the guy that was off the board.
He was off the board because that's who Mark Craig took on behalf of the Vikings in his own mock draft. So that one's different because he's doing it all himself.
Yeah, he can manipulate a little bit into what he.
But that was the guy you mentioned, right? Defensive tackle.
Yep.
Which would be logical.
Totally.
Right?
And I had him on my list, and if he was there, I would have taken him over the safety.
Yeah, that's interesting. So great minds think alike there, but you didn't have the chance because he was already gone.
Right.
Well, you brought up the subject, was it last week or the week before, about what if the Vikings, what would you think of the Vikings taking a running back there? Was that just to get me going, or is there a chance that might actually happen?
There was a stretch of mock drafts that were showing that too, and so it was sort of a topic, at least in draft discussion circles. It would seem after what they put into it in free agency this year, like that would not be the place to take one. That North Carolina guy, Omarion, was not drafted at all in our mock draft, and so I don't know if if that'll be the way it ends up being, and if he'll be available at 24 like he was in ours. But it just feels like that's an awfully. I mean, in a way, it's a luxury pick to take a running back. In a way, you could say Aaron Jones has maybe 1 or 2 more years, and they've only signed Jordan Mason for 2 years, so it's not like they have all these guys signed for a very long time, and the position is set for years to come. Well,
older.
Jones is for sure.
Yeah, right.
And so it's not like that. It's an impossibility. Just the likelihood of him contributing as a rookie would not be as high.
Is there any? Do my Bears have any chance if they stay at what are they 10? I think they're 10. Yeah, to get the Boise running back.
No, it doesn't sound like it. In our mock draft, Jacksonville took him at 5.
5.
And so, like the latest thinking is that
the Raiders are going to take him at 6.
5, 6, 7, 8.
So they'd have to move up.
It sounds like it. Yes,
he's good, isn't he?
Very good.
And do we have
game changer?
Do we care more about running backs again because we're seeing a little more value? Because for a few years it was you're an idiot if you take any running back in the first round. It's just not worth the trouble. Are there some who've separated themselves enough to say, well, no, it's not a bad thing. You don't have to apologize for drafting a running back that early if he's that good.
I think every now and then, maybe once a year, maybe once every other year, a running back comes that's not just good, but is just a game changer, regardless of what's around him, how good the offensive line is, or if you feel like you have a good offensive line and you draft a guy that has the ability to do that, you think about it as well. And so Jahmyr Gibbs in Detroit being an example of a running back who was seen to be taken very high, but then they loaded him into their offense and he completely takes over games. And so that's if there's a running back who your personnel people feel like is not just a really good running back, but is someone who can take over games in the right scheme. And Ben Johnson saw that in Detroit, executed that in Detroit with Jahmyr Gibbs, and so there's reason to think that Gentry can be the same thing. Then you kind of put him above where you would put your standard running back.
I am. I don't want to turn this into Bears wine line because it's a Minnesota audience, but I'm already swooning over Ben Johnson after the latest thing he pulled. Did you see what he did?
Was it the opening pitch?
Well, that wasn't bad. That was a good start. And by the way, it was a nasty sinker.
Yeah, he dropped it. He's an old quarterback. He was a quarterback in college.
Was he?
I think so. Yeah.
Better. He was announcing the winner of the Brian Piccolo Award for the Bears. And as he did it, or before he did it, he recited a poem he wrote about Brian Piccolo. I mean, what better way to epoxy yourself to the history
when did he write
of the Chicago Bears? I have no idea. It was brilliant. Brian Piccolo poem.
It rhymed?
Oh, it was tremendous.
Oh, my God.
I was blubbering after I heard it.
I'll have to go watch that.
Yeah, it's a very smart move on his part to connect to the Bears' past and the Bears' history as well. So we think this is, I don't know. I mean, drive yourself crazy deciding if it's a quarterback rich or quarterback poor class, because then a lot of times people go, it's going to be better than you think. I don't know how we begin to evaluate that, but how would you, based on the people you talk to, describe the quarterback class for this draft?
Not a good year to want a quarterback. I mean, even number one, where would Cam Ward have gone in last year's draft class? Not number one, not number two, and probably not he's probably number 4 quarterback in last year's draft class. And so this year he's the clear number 1, and then the number 2 guy might not go until the bottom half of the draft.
So will teams still lie to themselves? Like I mentioned, Craig, he's got the Titans taking Ward number 1, acknowledging that he's not worth it, but they're so desperate, they're going to do it. But doesn't that desperation end up compounding your problem at the position?
Well, you hope. I mean, there's 2 ways to do it. You draft a guy, a singularly talented guy who on his own can, be a transcendent player and lift your franchise, which comes around once every 5 years. Or the majority of the other quarterbacks, whether you're taking him at number 1 or number 10 or 20, are quarterbacks that have the potential to do that if they're surrounded by good players and good scheme and good coaches. And so that's really like the vast majority of quarterbacks that enter the draft. And so the unfortunate part for teams this year is there's not a transcendent guy. There's not the
we don't think
we didn't think Jaden Daniels would be last year, but like I think people scouting reports, the scouting reports on Jaden Daniels last year were better than the scouting reports on Cam Ward this year. But then like the bigger thing is like if you're not the number 1 pick, then like you're really I don't say grasping at straws, but you're really trying to talk yourself into it. And so the Giants are a perfect example. Like no one needs a quarterback more than than the Giants from a longer term perspective. And the fact that Shedeur Sanders, the number 2 quarterback in the draft, is not a lock at number 3 tells you a lot of what you need to know there.
Top of the hour pause. A text from Dave in Chicago. 2 teams in the playoffs in the NFL draft on tap, and we got to listen to this extended bit. Forget 10 p.m. The audience will be asleep by 4. I think that was a Gerbschmidt shot. I don't think it's a shot at you. I think it's more of a Gerby
Wouldn't be
shot.
the first time.
But we had him on for, it was like 5 minutes. Calm down.
Can't keep people happy.
Yeah, it's tough to keep people happy, especially via the text line. Somebody else wants to know is wondering whether Blue Sky still does exist. Are you on Blue Sky too? Are you on both?
I wasn't doing it as much until the first day of free agency when Twitter went down.
Yeah.
X went down, and so like everybody rushed over to Blue Sky, and I had, which I was calling Blue Ski up until that moment, and then I found out that it's Blue Sky, and then I already had an account, so I started using it, and all of a sudden, a lot more people are on it.
Dave in Chicago, be patient. We've got Mitch Lawrence to talk NBA playoffs at 4:30. We've got Luigi to talk Stanley Cup playoffs in the Wild at 5:30 as well. More Seifert now.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary. Ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
Discover the life-changing benefits of Meow Greens for your cat. Ever see your cat slowing down or having health issues and wonder, what can I do to make them better? Well, my friend, add Meow Greens to your cat's food for 90 days, and I guarantee you'll see changes that will amaze you. Greetings, I'm naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, inventor of Meow Greens, and I invite you to take the Meow Greens 90-day challenge. In the first 30 days, you'll see shinier coats and increased energy. By day 60, your cat will have a stronger immune system, less shedding, improved joint function, all due to the live nutrients that you've added to their diet. And at 90 days, they're going to have better digestion, reduced inflammation, improved heart health, and you may even have reduced their cancer risk. Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your cat today. Go to trymeowgreens.com. Use promo code TRYMEOW. That's TRYMEOW. You discover the shipping. You don't have to change your cat's food to improve your cat's health. Just add a packet of Meow Greens.